Amina walks into her apartment like she would step on a bus, as if to get somewhere. The damp walls smell of dogs, even though it's been over a year since the old tenants moved out. She walks into the bathroom, washes her hands with peach soap, and smells her fingertips. In the bedroom, her mother's body seems to have grown roots into her bed. The smell of urine does not prevent Amina from smiling. She kisses her mother on the cheek. "Mom, do you need to go to the toilet?" The woman nods. Amina lifts her up as if she's pulling a plant, gently, because she must place her back there once she has changed the soiled sheets. The 72-year-old woman coughs. Coughing, panting, and snoring are the only sounds she communicates with. Amina can distinguish 9 moods of her mother's mind from her snoring. Amina changes the sheets, remembering how 4 years earlier she stopped hanging white sheets in her backyard for fear they could be shot at, like all the white flags during the Balkan War. When the mother lies down again and starts snoring right away, Amina thinks her mother is just pretending to make her believe she feels better. But the snoring is real, loud, and, Amina thinks, comforting. She says, "Dear Mom, I never thought my greatest pleasure would be to hear you snore." No reaction. Amina laughs and takes up a picture of her father. He wears a white Ahmadiyya on his head, typical for a Bosnian imam. She closes her eyes. The Ahmadiyya, like a white flag, falls on the ground outside a small stone mosque with a blue tin roof. Some soil covers it as thousands of feet pass by, pass by, pass by. Grass grows out, and weed, the inedible things. There is more green now. Evergreen woods of southern Sweden, and the meadows between them, and a grey highway, spruced with colourful cars, lots of red cars, Volvos and Saabs and Volkswagens. Amina opens her eyes and says, without turning to her mother, "When I was a little girl, you could never shut up." She caresses the picture with the cleaning cloth. "Father was the imam, but you wrote his sermons. By Thursday night, you had his Friday Jummah speech ready. You read it to us in a candlelit kitchen and we listened and sometimes said, 'Do it again, just to enjoy your voice.'" She looks at the thin, eggplant-coloured lips, opening and closing in the rhythm of the twitches of the eyelids. She tries to remember the voice, but she can only recall images, as if she has been deaf all her life. She swallows spit 3 times. "Remember the night our ferry arrived at Istad, where we spent our first week in that huge hangar with some 200 chatting, yelling, farting refugees? The immigration officers questioned us, 'What kind of immigrant are you? How much money have you got on you? Do you have relatives here? How long do you plan on staying?'" She pauses. "You just kept silent." The picture slips from her hand and falls on the floor. She picks it up, kisses the black and white, clean-shaven face, and puts it amidst pictures of herself as a baby, as a girl with braids, as a young woman with loads of emotions and equations in her mind, and as a genderless refugee outside a corroded bus, holding the hand of a mute mother. "Amina, my feet are cold," the mother says. Amina keeps wiping the pictures. Then, as if the message was garbled and her brain took a while to decipher it, she stops, looking at the photo of her mother's wrinkleless face as if it was that young woman who spoke to her. She turns around. The mother says again, "Emina, my feet are cold." Emina straddles the narrow bed, takes her mother by the calves and presses the soles of her feet against her warm stomach. The tangled, purple veins seem to be glued onto the cellophane skin of the feet, rather than growing like weed underneath. Emina rubs the 70-year-old skin. It creases and the veins change patterns. She opens her mouth a few times to say something, but doesn't, for fear there is some limit to the number of words that can be said right there and then. The mother smiles and says, "I'd like some plum pie." "Plum pie?" She nods. Emina stands up, tucks in the moist feet and gives her mother some water. The woman swallows one clunk. "I'll go and make you some pie." But she can't move. She kisses her mother on the lips. Then she gives her some more water. She caresses her long grey hair and the single white lime lock. She thinks, the rogue, huh? In the kitchen, which is just outside the bedroom, Emina produces a bowl of dark plums, sugar, flour, oil, and a round earthenware dish, as if everything was already right there at hand, just waiting for the wish to be uttered. Bosnian plum pie is like a black sheep among all the different pies. Once cooked, it's more like plum jam with cream. Emina pours oil into the dish and says, "Mom, you know Stig? He said that you look like some superwoman from his comic book who absorbs other people's powers." She cracks open the plums and pulls out the stones with her teeth and spits the stones into the kitchen sink and lays plum halves in circles in the dish. "I told him you're the one, but he must keep it hush-hush." She pinches some sugar and throws it on the plums. Then she does the same with flour and finally pours cream until the plums swim in it. 10 minutes in the hot oven. The plums are soft. She opens the oven and lets the dish simmer in the heat for 5 more minutes. Then she puts it on the windowsill and opens the window just a crack. The September wind wafts in. The mother's nose wiggles a little, but she can hardly breathe. She tries to say something, but her lips are clammy, saliva white, the tip of her tongue pressing the back of her teeth. Emina rushes into the bedroom as if the nascent shahada was a bait. She fumbles as if the shahada is already pulling the old body over the thin and sharp Sirat bridge towards the open gate of Janeh al-Aden. She grabs her mother's face. "No, Mom, not the shahada, not now, please, not the shahada." The mother raises her voice and says twice, "La ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah." The second testimony of faith pushes Emina backwards like a hand. The mother's eyes close, and her chest stops rising and falling. Emina wipes the few tears and struggles not to cry. She sits on her bedside, her back turned to her mother. Then she slips under her quilt and covers herself up to her nose like she did as a kid before she started school and stopped fearing the shadows of the quince tree under the twin moons.